We're going to look at IELTS speaking topics to help you talk about the news and newspapers for a Band 7 in your IELTS. So maybe, like me, you're a bit of a news junkie and have a pile of newspapers on your desk. Maybe you don't follow the print media and only read online newspapers. Maybe you don't follow the news at all and prefer to read gossip magazines. There is some vocabulary here for everyone. Welcome to IELTSfaster.com. Hi, I'm Scott Somerville, your online IELTS tutor. One of the common IELTS speaking topics is talking about the news. You see this topic in all three parts of the speaking, and it's a good idea to be prepared to speak about it and also have some good vocabulary to impress the examiner. It's also quite a common topic in the writing task too, so this vocabulary would be useful there too. Here are a few example questions. Where do you usually get your news from? Do you often read a newspaper? Describe a newspaper that you read often. How reliable are newspapers, television news, and the internet for news? So here is our vocabulary for this video. Tabloids, broadsheets, media bias, the media, the print media, an online newspaper, follow the news or a story, a news junkie, headlines, news coverage. We're going to go through how to actually make sentences and use a few of these expressions. So, let's begin. Broadsheets and tabloids. The broadsheets are the more serious newspapers and generally cover serious issues such as politics, the economy, global news, etc. etc. Tabloids, on the other hand, are generally shorter and focus much more on celebrities and popular culture. So, the examiner might ask you, do you often read a newspaper? Sometimes. I normally follow the news on television, but I do read the tabloids from time to time as I'm quite interested in celebrity news. Media bias. Normally the media, so newspapers, magazines, TV and the radio, normally they're not completely balanced and you will get some newspapers that support the government and some that don't. To the question, how reliable are newspapers, television news and the internet for news? You might answer, well, you have to be careful of media bias and understand that the newspaper or television station has its own political views and it cannot always be trusted. Headline. A headline is the title of a news story, but it's also used to describe the main focus of the media. For example, COVID-19 is always in the headlines. In the exam, you might say, I don't follow the news much, but I do read the headlines. A news junkie. As I said in the introduction, I'm a bit of a news junkie and I'm always reading the news. I'm particularly interested in politics. This could be your answer to the question, do you often read a newspaper? Or describe a newspaper that you often read. Follow the news. This means that you pay attention to what's happening in the news. You can basically use this sentence for most questions about the news. I don't really follow the news much as I find it pretty boring. Or recently I've been following all the political developments in Scotland. In the description, I've included example sentences for all the vocabulary today. Now, it's your turn. Where do you usually get your news from? Pick some of the vocabulary and use it to write your answer in the comments. Now, here's my top tip for anyone who has an exam soon. Practice using some of this vocabulary by answering some IELTS speaking practice questions. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, then please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell. Thank you very much for watching and see you again soon.